It's time for the #1 talk show of Eastern Connecticut and Southern Rhode Island. The Stu Breyer Potpourri Talk Show on 1310 WICH. Now here's Stu Breyer.
And I tell listeners that and folks that I'm having a guest today on Fairies, and they look at me like, gee, the only one I know is Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. But let's say hi to Tim Smith. Hi, Tim.
Hey. Good morning from Sedona.
Sedona. You're in Sedona today.
Yep, Sedona, Arizona, the most magical place on earth.
So when you talk about magic, with some of the things you're going to be talking about, do we all have this opportunity to see this magic, or is it just in Sedona?
Oh, no, you could see it all over the world. The fairies are, they're all over the world, and they're very prominent in Ireland. And I had a spiritual awakening about 4 years ago, and I went up to a planet, and 3 big, beautiful beings told me to raise my frequency and vibration. And that is to let go of anything that's ever hurt you in your life and come into harmony. And sure enough, they started coming in. And you could go, if you want to see the footage of the fairies, it's on Sedona Music and Film Group on YouTube.
Well, let's start from the beginning. You say you went up to the planet. What planet did you go up to? What is this?
I think it was Venus because, this is only my belief. We all came from different planets when we came to planet Earth, and Venus got too close to the sun, and the fairies had to leave Venus and come to Earth. And I believe that I'm from Venus, and I have a contract with the green realm. And I was in the military. I was a staunch conservative. And I had this big awakening, and it's been incredible. And the fairies, everything around you that's green is the fairies. The food we eat, everything is them helping us.
Well, when we think of fairies, we think of wings. I haven't found any wings in my salad.
Well, you mentioned Tinkerbell. I do have a video coming out soon of a real Tinkerbell coming in behind me at Tlaquepaque. And I'll be posting that soon because their light goes through their hearts and it makes their wings. That's where it looks like they have wings.
So did you wake up one morning and all of this hit you, that you're going to go to Venus and you're going to find out about this? Or?
No, I went through a 6-week boot camp. We all have, the Bible says we have 2, angelic guards, right? Guides. And we all have, angels that guard us, protect us. And, yes, I had a spiritual awakening. I went through boot camp for 6 weeks. I had to release a lot of trauma issues, and then I moved from West Sedona over to a village of Oak Creek, and that's when I was on a hike one day, and the trees lit up with little fires and wings, and the fairies showed themselves to me, and they communicate with me. I even have them singing to me.
They're singing. Have other people seen theirs, or are you the only person?
Oh, no. I had a friend, a ranger, who came over, and he was blown away. And my YouTube channel, I just caught one a couple days ago, and I just posted it, and it was floating through the trees, and I just posted that. And they're amazing, magical beings like us. They're incredible. And if we just sit and slow down our life a little bit and go to nature, they want to connect with us. They really do. They want to be here with us and help us.
So how can the fairies help us, Tim?
They can clean the water. They run, they run planet Earth and everything green, like I said, everything that you eat and stuff, all the flowers, everything is by them, by their divinity. And there's a lady here that works for the Devics, and then the Devics are a high-ranking fairy, and her garden's incredible. All the flowers, all the green, everything is them helping us.
Okay, but when we look at flowers and smell them, we don't see fairies in them.
Once again, there's a book in the 1950s called Nature Spirits by Rock, and you should read the book because he talks about everything I'm talking about. He didn't believe it either, and he connected with them, and he wrote a book about it, and it's a very famous book too, by the way, Nature Spirits. In Scotland, there's a garden in Scotland, and there's a lot of information on the internet about it. I'm not the only one talking about this.
All right, so we think of I've always heard of fairies as your fairy godmother, things like that, and is it like an angel? I mean, do you also see angels or just the fairies?
Well, I also work with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, but the fairies. Okay, so Mother Mary is the real fairy godmother. Mm-hmm. She guides the magical world on this planet. God oversees the whole cosmos, and Mother Mary is truly the fairy godmother, and she loves the fairies very much. And they're a white light, like when we cross over, it's our light that leaves our body that goes to heaven, right? So they're a white light being, and they can take any shape, any form they want. Once again, when you go to my YouTube and you scroll down to the Green Realm, Sedona Fairies, you'll see that they could take any form they want. They could show themselves to you how they want you to see them. Okay,
so I could be looking at a fairy, but it's not the fairy that I imagine. It could be something else disguised as from a fairy. Is that nefarious? I'm trying to understand this.
You're saying that the sky?
No, I'm just saying, a fairy, we know what a fairy looks like because of cartoons. But you're saying sometimes they look like something else.
Right. So we're 3D. We're on a 3D plane here on Earth. Our bandwidth, we used to work with the fairies back in the day, but we lost all of it. Our bandwidth does not hold the frequency, does not have their bandwidth on planet Earth. Our bandwidth. That's why there's ghosts. How could a ghost come in and slam a door or do something? Mm-hmm. Because it's another energy, right? So they are here for us, and they love us, and once again they want to work with us, and they want us to stop polluting the earth and love Mother Gaia and love each other. That's what they want. That's what their mission is.
So could they really work overtime on this mission, because the world is in a very rough place at this particular time?
I think that we're coming. I know that we are coming into a higher divinity. All of us are letting go of a lot of stuff, and we're helping each other more. And I think we're going to be more loving now. I think that people are going to wake up now and realize that the movie Matrix is another good example. We're in this Matrix, and once we leave the Matrix and we get out of it, we're no longer slaves. We start helping each other and take care of each other.
Tim, I have an open mind in a lot of things, but I'm sure there's some people that go up to you and say, do you have a fever or something? How do you handle these people that are very skeptical? I mean, who wouldn't be when you think about it?
Because I've had friends come over my computer, and I've showed them, and they become believers like that. They're like, wow. Mm-hmm. In Hollywood, by the way, Glenn Olliff in Hollywood, he got the footage, and he showed it some people, and they were dumbfounded and blown away by it. Now they believe, and they're helping me put this movie together. It's called The Green Realm, and they're now helping me put this together, and we're going to have it come out probably at the end of the year. And there's some amazing footage. I have one scene where I tell Rosie, I say, Rosie, fly across the screen. And she literally makes wings and goes flying across the screen. We have it all on footage.
You talked to one of these fairies in the movie?
No, but if you go to my YouTube, one's singing to me. But yes, one. I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but one came one night and he says, make a wish. And I made a wish, and the wish came true, and the wish was granted. And the unicorns, the gnomes, they're all around us. We just don't see them with our bandwidth. But when you raise your frequency and your vibration, you'll be able to see these things in the forest.
All right, Tim, I'm going to take a short break. I have a few more questions for you. And, of course, sure. You're working on a film, which I think would be fun to watch. But we'll be right back. We'll talk more about it. Tim Smith, there are fairies around us. We'll be right back. There's a song by Alabama called, I Believe There's Angels Among Us. Tim Smith believes there are fairies among us. And you also say that you have visited Venus.
Yes.
Okay. Are there humans on Venus, or?
Well, they all left the planet now because, like I said, it got too close to the sun, and they all had to leave. But there's if you Google Lady Master Venus, she's holding space on planet Earth Gaia 2, and Sanat Kumara, they are the lead lords of the Earth, and so they're all, like I said, we all came from these different planets, and we're all here, and we're here to have our special journey on this planet, to learn things, to love each other, to go through this human experience.
Well, I hope we can learn to love each other very soon. Now, let me ask you this question: do you have a picture or your videos that people can actually look at them and see fairies?
Yes, there's a lot of stuff. If you go to Sedona Music and Film Group on YouTube, and I just posted one like a day ago. But if you scroll down to the Green Realm Sedona Fairies, you will see all the footage that I'm talking about. And also, I was going to explain something to you, too, that we're all like radio stations. You know how you tuned into the frequency of a radio station? Mm-hmm. We're all like a radio station. When we tune into that frequency, that's when we can start seeing fairies and start seeing our planet as that's different than what we think it is. How magical it really is.
So a basic fairy looks as we would imagine it. It's just tiny with wings.
Yes, yes. But they could take, they could be... the footage that was a day ago, it must have been the size, I don't know, maybe of a quarter, but you could see it floating. People said they could see the legs and the wings as it floated down through the tree. But on my footage in the movie Temp trailer, the trees light up, and you can see their wings, how the light goes through their hearts and how they make wings. But yeah, they're like, once again, they are incredible. When you tune in, you tune into the frequency, you go to nature and you just slow down a little bit, you breathe in a little bit, do a little bit of meditation, look around, you'll see a different world.
Well, you certainly got my attention, that's for sure.
When you see the footage, like I said, I was in the military, I was a staunch conservative, and I had this awakening, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting.
Are you a family man, Tim? Do you...
Yes, I got 2 kids. One's in the military, and one's up in Houston, but yes.
How do the kids feel about you believing in fairies? Have they seen them?
They were... I had a little trouble with the family because they were all raised Catholic, and they got a little bit upset about it.
Well, it's, certainly gets your attention, yeah.
But they're starting to let me be me, and this, they're starting to look into it a little bit more than they have. But my mother had a very hard time. I took care of her till she passed, and she had a hard time with it. But now she knows up there that I was on the line all along.
But you do have 2 kids, and they are just getting used to this now, Tim?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, yes, they're starting to see that there could be more than they see. You know what I mean? Because there's so much more that we don't even see. I mean, all the ETs. I have a friend here would call you and tell you they're landing. The ETs land out in Thunder Mountain, Sedona. The government comes in. They know the fact that what's going on here. They're closed off areas because the ETs are landing here. There's so much more that we don't see that's happening around us.
So there's extraterrestrials that are living among us, and yet there's still millions of people who say there's no proof. I
could beg to differ because I live in Sedona, and I've seen, I've got picture of ships coming in, and I totally beg to differ. Why not? I mean, God's so creative and He's so incredible. There'd be a lot of different magical beings, right? The angels, He made the angels, He made the fairies, He made all, there's a lot of different...
Why not the fairies? People believe in angels. They say there's always an angel, the angel's looking out for us. And so the fairies are kind of like the spring training for the angels. Do they become angels after fairies?
I'm not sure about that because they're fun. They're a little different. They're fun to be around. They're very mischievous.
So it's basically
if you put ginger. So here's a little thing. If you make a little fairy altar and you put if you cut up some fresh ginger and chocolate, energetically they will come and smell. They love it. I mean, there's people in Sedona that carry it in their pocket. They carry fresh ginger around with them because the fairies follow the ginger. But if you put ginger, literally, if you make a little fairy altar, look at it 3 days from now. They energetically can take the scent and they smell it. And if you see what happens to the ginger after they get done with it, it's incredible what they do. Their energy. It's energy.
So did you ever see a fairy in your house?
Yes, they live with me. I could tell you I was moving a friend of mine over to Sedona, and she's another clairvoyant, and she looks over at me and she goes, "Good fortune is coming," and I was like, "Great, I'd love to hear that." I get over to her house. And I get out of the moving truck, and I look over, and there's a gnome sitting between us. And she looked over, she goes, "Oh, his name is Ramsey." So it's all real. And I saw it by the glimpse of my eye.
His name is Ramsey? How would you know his name is Ramsey?
Because we could hear, they could talk to us. Because when you tune into that frequency, we're all like radio stations. So when you tune into your radio station, when they take a dial and they tune in to the radio station, that's why people have crystals, because there's crystals in radios, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people have crystals to bring in that frequency, because we're all like radio stations. But once you tune in to that frequency, you can hear them and see them, and it's incredible. It's like my life is so magical. I'm with them all the time.
So with so many, they should put name tags on.
It's just like I said, I live a very magical life with them. And,
what does their voices sound like? Do they have various, or is it just one similar voice?
The Devas are the highest ranking ones.
Mm-hmm.
The Devas, yeah, and there's a lot of information on the Devic and Elemental Kingdom. Professor George King did a big thing on the Devics in the 1960s. He also channeled Jesus, and he wrote a big thing about it in the 60s on the Devics and the Elemental Kingdoms, and that's another good read too. Elohim Cyclopedia. If you Google him, there's a beautiful 8 pages from the 60s, someone who channeled him. And Shirley MacLaine, she's really into this stuff as well.
Well, I read a lot about Shirley. I know that, yeah.
Yeah, her movie Out on a Limb is exactly what I'm saying. They're very powerful beings. So when I can't sleep at night, I was on a hike one time, and I found this crystal, and they did not want me to take the crystal off the mountain. And they literally almost put me to sleep to drop the rock so I wouldn't take it. This is when I was newly awakened. So when I can't sleep at night, I call them in, and they'll come in and they'll knock me right out. I don't need any prescription drugs.
So how do you call a fairy? And is there some certain word that you use, or?
Elemental.
Mentally, you can call a fairy in, and they'll help you get to sleep?
Yeah, so they'll put me to sleep. And there's a book, by the way. If you there's a lady that wrote this book, right? Mm-hmm. This is really gonna take you out there. It's called MAP, the Co-Creative White Brotherhood Medical Assistance Program. Okay, mm-hmm. So you could buy this book, and this lady's still alive, and you buy this book, and I kid you not, they will heal you. You lay in bed, you put your hands by your side, and you call in the Devics, the overlighting Devics of healing, and they come in. Then you call in Pan. Pan's real. The nature god's real. He comes in. And then you call in the White Brotherhood, which is Jesus and Buddha. It's another group of white elemental beings. And then you call in your higher self, and they will come in, and you tell them, "Oh, my shoulder hurts." They will heal you right there.
Is there any copay for that?
And you can Google the book, and it's free. They're God's medical team.
It's called,
yeah.
What's the name of the book? I want to make sure the listeners know the book.
Yeah, it's called MAP, the Co-Creative White Brotherhood Medical Assistance Program, McKell Small Wright. It's $10, and you could get the book. And if you read the book, we don't even need doctors anymore, because the doctors now are sending everybody to sound baths. For the chimes, you go to a sound bath, and that's the frequency that your body takes in that I've been talking about. They play chimes to you in crystal bowls and stuff, and your body reacts to that. And you could heal cancer and all these things And that's all the doctors in Beverly Hills now, they send people to these sound baths now.
And they have proven to cure people? I mean, really?
I've got no issues, and I've been working with MAP, and I feel incredible. I have no issues. I'm 60, and I feel like I'm actually 40. I mean, because, our spirit doesn't get old. It's our bodies get old because they can only live so. And how you take care of your body, you can live longer here too. But our spirit never gets old. Our spirit's always young inside. It's our bodies that get old. So I still dance and play rock guitar and do my thing.
So spell the name of that book. It's one word, right? You said.
Yeah, it's let me see here. It says MAP.
MAT. MAP.
Yeah, MAP, the Co-Creative White Brotherhood Medical Assistance Program. And it's, hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I think it's Michelle. It's Machallelle. Michelle Small Wright. And she also will, if you have questions, she has a website and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's the most amazing thing I've ever done. And when they leave, and you tell them when you're done with your coning, and you work with them for 45 minutes, when you say, I now release, the overriding debits of healing, your body goes, wow, and they leave. You can feel it.
Well, obviously this sounds marvelous, Tom, but why, if this is so effective and works so well, that everybody should be talking about this? Why aren't they?
Well, I want to be careful what I say because the pharmaceutical companies, they make money of us. So I want to be careful. I don't want to get into trouble here, but you could heal yourself. We did it. We did it before many times over. Yeah. I'm going to be careful, but we could heal ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm certainly taking this all in for sure. Now, is somebody putting up some dough for this film that you're making? This?
I funded the whole thing, and they tell me they got my back, and which they do, and everything's in divine flow. When you were up there before you came here, you chose your parents, you chose your whole life before you came down here. So it's all in divine flow. You chose your brothers, your sisters, and anything that you wanted to go through, you wanted to experience in this human experience, you chose it. Pretty interesting, huh?
Well, that sounds quite into. Do you believe in reincarnation and all that?
Yes. Oh, big time, yes. They showed me my previous life. They showed me a lot of things, yes. That's why my Catholic family has a hard time with me.
When you say they showed you, who are they?
We have spirit guides. If you want to tune in, you could tune into your spirit team. Very easy. Just meditate at night. Just meditate at night and ask. Mm-hmm. Ask. And, there's a thing called Ho'oponopono out of Hawaii, and it's 4 things you say at night. You put your hand on your heart, and you say these things, and you could, I've talked to my father. I've been up there in heaven, and I've talked to my father about things, and he passed 20 years ago. But you have a star team. You have star guides, and the Bible says it too, that you have 2 angelic messengers, right? Well, you have a star team up there. That's your ancestors. They're watching over you while you're here, and they're with you, and they want you to enjoy yourself while you're here, and they want you to have fun while you're here. They don't want you to stress out and worry about anything. They just want you to have a good time.
So you talked to your father in heaven. That's must have been quite a feeling that you got. Does he understand you a lot better now that he's in heaven?
Oh, he said to me, he came to me and he said, religious fanatics such as your mother are quite dangerous, don't you think? And I said, yeah, they sure are.
So do you believe in the concept of heaven and hell?
Well, I think that if you believe it, there's another movie. A spiritual journey. That everything I'm talking about. There's another movie that's out of Italy. Celestial. I think it's called Celestial Cities: A Spiritual Journey, and it's out of Italy. And it says that it's a movie about everything I'm saying too. That we choose our lives. We come here, and how we behave here and what we do here is how far we go. So if you do a really good job here, you love people, and you're good to charities, you go to a higher dimension than other people. So there's purgatory. My mother, when she passed, I saw her in purgatory. She was there. Because when you leave, when your body leaves here, you just can't go to heaven. You got to go to purgatory, and it's called life review. It's called Life Review, and you go through Life Review. And there's another movie about it, too, another Hollywood movie that came out, but it's called Life Review. And you go through your life and how well you did while you were here. Did you love people? Did you take care of people? How were you? Were you a good father? Were you a good son to your mom? Whatever, you know?
Will they know if you're cheating on the test?
yeah, everything. Yes, they do. Everything you've done, you go through in Life Review when you get back up there.
Must be tough to say, gee, I've been a bad boy. You know, I'd be afraid to say that, but they'll know anyway, so you might as well tell the truth. Fascinating guy. So let's say that your movie, you're calling it a movie or a documentary. What is it you're making?
Yeah, it's going to be, well, we started as a documentary, but a lot of magical things kept happening, like the music. I now am channeling the music from the fairy kingdom, and my group's called Primal Sky, and the Green Realm is one track, and we have one, Shekinah Rose. If you listen to Shekinah Rose Wahia, that is a transmission from the fairy kingdom, where she could pull it in. She hears what they're singing, and then she sings it in the studio. And Wahia, the fairies call it, Wahia means we are here for humanity. And that's fairy language. That's fairy talk, Wahia. And that means we are here for humanity.
Well, so what's your best guess when this would be completed?
I'm hoping by the end of the year, because magic things keep happening. More magic keeps happening. And so I'm trying to keep up with all of the magic that we're creating, you know, with the movie, because there's so many documentaries that people yawn and they fall asleep through. We don't want that. Mm-hmm. We want to show the real fairy magic. We want to show, you know how they truly are and how amazing they are.
So Tim, you sent me a video, and it was a tree, and maybe it's my eyes. If I look closely, I'm going to see fairies in that picture.
Yeah, that little thing that I put an arrow. You see the little thing floating in the tree. It's a little white little ball with a little. Yeah. Yeah, but if you go to my movie trailer, you'll see a lot better footage than that. But yeah, you'll see a little. Yeah.
So what's your average? You wake up in the morning. What's your average day like, Tim?
My average day is to get up and pray and meditate. There's a Devic and elemental prayer. There's a big fairy prayer that I say. Mm-hmm. But you know, Mother Mary is my big focus. I focus on Mother Mary. Came to me when my mother got really upset with me, you know, and she said some things, and I went to the Catholic Church to Mother Mary, and that night Mother Mary came to me, and she ran the rosary through my heart. So I'm very close with Mother Mary. Mother Mary is for me is everything. So you know, I pray. I do my Mother Mary prayers. I do the fairy prayers, the Devic prayers, and then I work. As you know, I work in the music industry.
Okay, so you have other things that you do.
Yeah, I work radio. I work country music radio in the music industry.
Do you talk about this on your radio show?
No. I work the music. My job is to get the music on the radio. It's to get the music on the media-based country chart.
Okay, you're programming the music.
No, promoting the music.
Oh, promoting it. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's an interesting, fun thing to do. You know.
Yeah, 35 years, yeah. I go back to Hall & Oates and Britney Spears. Yeah, I go way back. I've been doing it for 35 years.
Well, Tim, you're an interesting guy for sure. I'm going to go back and look at what you sent me and see if I can spot, you know, sometimes you say, well, there's lightning bugs or there's moths, but you can tell that these are different. These are fairies. Right, yeah, well, you can see it right away. Like right away. You everyone... There's a lot of fairy. Facebook has a huge crowd of people that believe in fairies and have same as me. They have fairy footage and they connect with them, and they love that video. But once again, if you scroll down to the Green Realm, I'll send you the temp trailer and you watch that temp. I talk about them. It's really good. Do me a favor, Tim, and also send me because people aren't sitting with pens and paper and. Just send me information where people can get more information.
You got it. I appreciate it very much.
All right, Tim, as long as these fairies are good, decent people, that's all right. Or you call them people? What do you call them? Fairies.
I call them white magical beings.
Magical beings. As long as they're just have good on their mind, I'm all for them. So thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
You too. Tim Smith,